who is better at making money than Kirk Cousins? I'll tell you, nobody.
Nobody.
That guy is the man, and good job by Atlanta. He will improve that team.
I like Nick Cage. He had a little personality. Ryan Gosling, you mentioned it. Not just that he crushed, I'm just Ken.
No Simu disrespect. I don't want any Simu disrespect.
Okay, are we going to tell him that we're fighting over him right now? Because we can.
Hey, yo, what's up to all my yins out there? It's your boy, Russell Wilson.
Please, Daddy, love us, please.
The powers that be tell us that when people listen to our podcast, they really like us.
I mean, I'm here for the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark meetup. Like, I really am.
Is that not the most Duke move of all time? The leg lift from the ground?
That's not what Logan and Jake Paul do. They go pick out tiny people that don't do stuff.
Bro, it's the biggest fight weekend in years.
Margot Robbie was laughing so hard. I was like, you've arrived, young Cena.
Applebee's and IHOP are launching co-branded locations. That's right, mega powers.
Yeah, like Santa.
Wait, hold on. First of all, you don't have to show off about your
Yes,
Super
I
Bowl
do.
parties.
I have one famous friend. I'm going to tell you about it.
Oh, you're on text
I'm
terms
going to kiss
with
his
him.
ass. I'm going to kiss his ass right in front of you. And then I'm going to tell him, my friend Peter Rosenberg thinks you look stupid.
As much as Jake Paul could beat the shit out of you or me, I don't think he can hurt Mike Tyson.
From Wondery, I'm Michelle Beadle.
And I am Peter Rosenberg.
And this is Over the Top. Here is how the show works. Best stories of the week in sports and pop culture. We're going to face off and crown a champion. We're going to answer one simple question. What is the undisputed most important thing on planet Earth this week? And we're going to decide it the only way we know how.
How's that?
Using Royal Rumble rules.
Yeah.
Did you forget?
I forgot. I always forget.
Good Lord, Peter. We're going to start with two stories, and then we, you and I, decide which one's more worthy to discuss and which one's got to go. After 90 seconds, a new story will be introduced, and we'll have to decide whether we want to keep talking about our current story or switch to the new one. We do not know the order of these stories coming our way, but we do decide which ones get thrown over the top rope. Peter, what's first?
Before I even get into this first week's topic, you know what I'm going to remind people of, because I don't think we do it enough? If you enjoy what we do here every week on Over the Top, you should go on ahead and give us a like, a little 5 stars, a little comment, a little review. We never asked for it. You have to do that if you want to play the game.
Please, Daddy, love us, please.
Yeah, please love us. Share us with a friend. The powers that be tell us that when people listen to our podcast, they really like us.
We're so hungry, please.
There's so many hungry podcasts. We just want our kibbles and bits. I don't know. Is dog food a thing for the old Brits? I don't know.
I don't know.
Our first topics of the day. It's NFL free agency week. So far, we've already seen Baker sign a 3-year, $100 million deal to stay in Tampa. Kirk Cousins to Atlanta, Josh Jacobs to the Packers, Russell Wilson to the Steelers, and the Panthers trade Brian Burns to the New York Giants. Now, that is up against a fight. Not a sanctioned fight, a fight that broke out in the SEC Women's Championship between South Carolina and LSU. Both benches were ejected. Camila Cardozo is suspended from round 1 of the NCAA tournament, and Flau'jae Johnson's brother was arrested after jumping out of the stands and over the scorer's table to get onto the court.
It's my sister.
This is hard. What do we
Come
do
on,
here?
Man, that's the first one?
That's a matchup. Like, free agency is cool. It's cool, bruh, you know?
It's cool, but to get an opportunity and miss that, to tear Kim Mulkey apart, I don't know if I can be responsible for this decision, Peter.
All right, so why don't we just quickly say,
okay,
if you're gonna throw Russell Wilson somewhere, I think the Steelers probably the right spot to do it. Why not give Mike Tomlin a shot, see if he can make that thing work? They didn't have a quarterback there. They seem to be a quarterback away from being like decent. Maybe not a contender, but like a decent team. So I don't hate Russell Wilson there as a little try. They're only spending $1 million.
I mean, you're only spending $1 million, which is hilarious. But I also feel like we're going to get a really good sort of rallying cry post out of, like, you know, let's go Yins. Like, he's going to do some pandering something or other to the Pittsburgh fan base. And I Cannot wait.
Hey, yo, what's up to all my yins out there? It's your boy, Russell Wills.
Primanti Brothers sandwiches for everybody on me.
I was just shopping at the Gent Eagle and listening to this Mac Miller album, and I just wanted to reach out to all my yins in the streets.
My yins. Are we using that right now?
So I don't know. Also, Kirk Cousins, who is better at making money than Kirk Cousins? I'll tell you, nobody. That guy is the man, and good job by Atlanta, because I'll tell you what, he will definitely, you can say what you will, you can say he's not a winner, blah, blah, blah. He will improve that team. They will be a better offensive team because they have Kirk Cousins. Over the top you go, NFL free agency. Let's break down this fight, Beadle. I want to get your take, because I kind of missed it when it happened. And then when I heard the commotion about it, when I went and then looked at the fight, it wasn't as bad. I was expecting the Malice at the Palace. And I was like, okay, someone got shoved and someone's family member jumped on the court, and that's not cool. But the police immediately handled that. So was this a little bit overblown, or is it me?
To be honest with you, what happened on the court I did not blink. It was a scuffle. It was a battle of competition moment between two teams that I don't think love each other necessarily. My issue was with the very contrasting ways that these two coaches handled it post-game. You had Dawn Staley, who's the classy, hey man, I'm sorry, it's bad vibes. That's not cool. We shouldn't have done that, yada, yada.
We hate bad vibes, bruh.
Yeah, we hate bad vibes, bruh. And then you got the sequence queen over here with the feathers, who was like, well, I wish they would have hit Angel Reese instead. Because whenever there's an opportunity for a microphone and all the wrong words to be said, I go to Kim Mulkey. She's my first and foremost. So to me, it was a bigger issue between that reaction than what happened on the court. I got no issues with the court. Yeah,
it happens. I mean, maybe the brother jumping into the court, you don't want that. But no, Malkamania was running wild. There's no, she wanted the smoke, which was a little bit weird. But I will say, I just feel like people freaked out a little extra, maybe because it was girls fighting. Always. And it surprised them.
Always.
But when I watched it, I was expecting it to be like the video of that fight down in Alabama a few months ago where the lady got hit in the head with a chair. I was like, where's a good one. Yeah, I was like, where's the guy diving in the water and where's the chair? It was like a quick little basketball fight.
It was so
one
quick. Family
member jumped on the court and got yoked up. It wasn't that crazy.
It was quick. I don't know why we think women are less competitive or immune to getting caught up in a moment of smack talk / physical. This was a physical game.
So simpatico.
We're so progressive. Up next, Luka Doncic has become the first player to put up 6 straight 30-point triple-doubles and is nearly averaging a triple-double on the season. Do we continue to talk about the big fight between South Carolina and LSU, or switch to Luka and his triple-dubs? Or I like to call them trip-dubs.
Try-do?
Ooh, try-do's.
True-do?
Three dubs.
I don't know. This is kind of tough. Luka's awesome.
So awesome.
And I'm glad he's going off in March. That's great. I mean, is it changing how we feel about him? We already know he's one of the best in the league. He's a ridiculous scorer.
Yeah, the problem is, does he make everyone around him better? And are the Mavericks going to win this way? That's really the question to be asked here and answered.
And yeah, is this team actually going to gel come playoff time? You know what? I say Luka goes over the top rope. I say we chuck the Mavs out and we keep going here with the ladies, because there's another thing that we're not talking about. Oh, get out of here, Luka. Over the top you go.
Sorry, Luka.
No, we'll see you again. You're having a hell of a year. The women's basketball thing is interesting because it represents yet another moment, and in this case, sort of directly, indirectly involving Angel Reese. That takes us all the way back to a year ago when Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark got into it. You remember back in the day when
I remember.
I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like a bad guy, but when no mainstream casual fans had any idea who Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese was.
Yes.
A year ago.
Yep.
It kind of all started then, this sort of moment for women's college basketball. And then you have the iconic year for Caitlin. By the way, Angel Reese has still been great this year. If you check out her stat line, she's still balling.
Yep.
She's gotten all kinds of endorsement deals too. She's popping out here. She was in a Cardi B video. Angel Reese doing her thing.
The SI swimsuit? Did she do that?
She did. I think she did that too.
Everywhere. She's everywhere.
So she's done a lot this year too. Now you have this big fight between South Carolina and LSU in the SEC final. It's are we Are we on pace for like the most exciting and kind of anticipated women's tournament of all time?
Could these two meet up? At the very least, they could meet up with Iowa, one of them.
That's what I'm saying. Could we get an Angel Reese Caitlin Clark rematch? Because I think if that were to happen again, that would be a monster big deal.
Like South Carolina, is it South Carolina better than LSU?
Yeah, but them matching up with Iowa doesn't sound as exciting. So
I mean, I'm here for the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark meetup. Like I really am. Caitlin Clark's last year. Like I'm here for that. It's going to be
well, just to break it down for you, South Carolina is the best team in the nation. Iowa is the second best team in the nation, and LSU is the 8th best team in the nation.
Boom.
So all of these players can become. I'm just saying. I'm just going to keep it. How do I keep this honest? No one gives a shit about men's college basketball right now relative to women, in my opinion.
Correct.
It's just not hot in the streets.
No.
Speaking of which, 2 weeks ago on this very same show, I called out Duke's Kyle Filipowski for being an aggressive crybaby. And guess what? He proved me right once again after blatantly lifting his leg, not unlike the dog that he is. I don't even like begrudging dogs.
Yeah,
I love dogs.
excuse me? Dogs are awesome.
Yeah, dogs are honorable creatures.
Thank you.
Unlike the dookie that he is, to trip up North Carolina's Harrison Ingram from the ground. Do we want to talk about the SEC action or move on to Filipowski being a little biatch?
Yes. You know what? I agree with you. The women's tournament this year, I think, is going to have a lot more weight, a lot of more spice, a lot of more pizzazz, more than usual for those of us who perhaps are very casual fans. So we will be talking about y'all again, but
over the top you go.
SEC, everything go. Because Filipowski, you tall bastard. Okay, maybe not a bastard, but come on down because Peter's going to roast you. And P.S., not just that, but the Duke fans throwing water bottles. Like, what are we doing here? Aren't they the people crying last time? Crying?
Yeah, you know what? It's a great point by you. I thought you guys don't do it that way. I thought that's not the Dookie way. Well, apparently it was, because after the game, full meltdown from the stands, things being thrown at the North Carolina team. But let me focus on Kyle Filipowski.
Please do.
I made the argument that he is the one who initiated contact when those fans stormed the floor.
You did.
And now here we are, not even 2 weeks later, and what do you know? In like something out of the Grayson Allen handbook, he lifts his, is that not the most Duke move of all time? The leg lift from the ground to trip another, like what is it?
It's just gross. It's just dirty. It's cheap. The fact that his brain, the automatic reaction for him is to do that tells me who you are as a person, Filipowski. You're exactly who we thought you were. And this is why we didn't have your back during the old traumatic incident that you were in. I'm glad you were able to recover, by the way.
I was just trying to get off the court and everyone came after me.
They were everywhere. They wouldn't stop.
Our fans just want to have a good time.
We're just the best. We wouldn't do anything wrong.
I just can't believe there are people who like raise their families to like this team.
All right, up next, in the latest boxer versus UFC fighter crossover fight, former boxing heavyweight champ Anthony Joshua, that is, knocked out former UFC heavyweight champ Francis Ngannou in just his second boxing match ever. And then he was at the F1 race. Dun, 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 dun. Do we want to continue talking about Kyle Filipowski or switch topics over to Francis Ngannou and Mr. Joshua?
I no longer want to continue talking about Kyle Filipowski.
Thank goodness. Yes.
Let's talk about a real fighter, real gentleman, okay? Men who actually square up like the old-timey Notre Dame logo and fight like men. I watched the fight live.
Okay. Good.
It was Friday night, which is an interesting time to watch a fight. It didn't start until like 7:30 Eastern, which was like 3:30 a.m. in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Why did they fight at that time there? Just for us?
I think they were trying to find the best scenario for East Coast US, London, England, and basically they screwed over the fans who were in the building.
I was going to say the actual crowd has the worst.
That paid, actually, I don't know if they pay at these Saudi events or not, but either way, the people who were there all night, I stayed up for it. I'll tell you the truth, Beadle. I thought, given that Ngannou was as game as he was against Tyson Fury, I thought, why not? If I was placing a bet, if I had forked over money, I would have thrown And listen, he was a dog. I would have thrown some money on Ngannou to surprise Joshua and win. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a really good fighter, but he showed a suspect chin before. And since Ngannou survived with Fury, I said, but this is the whole styles make fights thing where if you're like a boxing fan, we understand it on a level that like the people truly inside the fight game understand it in a whole different way.
Yeah.
I was just dead wrong. Ngannou, God bless the man. I mean, to decide to pursue your dreams when you're at the top of the MMA game, a heavyweight champion in the UFC, and go, you know what? My childhood dream was always to be like Mike Tyson, so I want to box. And then you decide, not only am I going to try to box, I'm going to box two of the three best heavyweights on earth as my first two fights.
Yeah, why? Oh. I mean, I respect it, but why?
I think
that's not what Logan and Jake Paul do. They go pick out tiny people that don't do stuff.
No, and I have a hunch we'll be talking about Jake Paul again, and I'll tell you what we weren't talking about, his last two fights that no one paid attention to because he's just trying to like stack up some bodies. I think what happens is like Saudi Arabia throws so much money at people like Ngannou that like him and Joshua are like, let's get the check. Now maybe though, and after Ngannou got two of these Saudi bags, maybe now he starts fighting some low-end heavyweights and tries to build on it.
Okay.
But
did he even touch Anthony Joshua? Because he looked untouched when we saw him on Saturday.
He did not touch him at all.
Okay, that's what I figured because he looked very like he had not been through anything at the race. So that's why I was wondering if the fight had already happened.
No, it had happened. It had happened. He was just fine. But he was a total gentleman afterwards too. I love that Anthony Joshua. Anyways, up next, on Sunday night at the Oscars, we got a naked John Cena. Ryan Gosling rocked out with Slash in the performance of the night. Billie Eilish kind of competed for performance of the night too.
She's pretty great.
Jimmy Kimmel roasted Trump, and Billie Eilish became the youngest two-time Oscar winner at 22.
God, she's only 20.
Do you want to stay on Ngannou, Joshua, or should we move on to the Oscars?
We absolutely have to move on to the Oscars because there are layers to this Oscars that we need to talk about every single one. I can't wait. Of them. So
Ngannou, over the top you go.
Sorry,
again.
Ngannou. Best of luck in all that you try to do. But here we go. Can I just say, John Cena impressed me.
Physical?
His delivery, not physically.
Oh.
His delivery, his comedic timing, to do it in that room full of true and serious thespians and nail it was actually pretty impressive. I thought it was a good bit. And good bit.
Million people on TV. Yeah, I agree. He
forgot about that.
It was a well-executed bit. I 100% agree. He's very sharp comedically on camera. John Cena is funny. He's very good at it, man.
He is, and I'm going to say something. You don't have to agree with me, but I understand you're in a predicament as I say these following words. But to have John Cena walking off in a curtain dress as The Rock is preparing to go and do his presentation was perfect. And it also kind of had a spotlight on how much looser and better at fun John Cena is. He seems much more natural than The Rock does. And I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but here we are.
Man, it's interesting. I feel like Cena is in a position with so much less pressure. Like there's not this expectation that you have to be the biggest and best at everything you do all the time. You know, I feel like Rocky is always, it has to be the biggest movie. And the number,
Who said?
No, it doesn't. I mean, truthfully, that's why I'm enjoying The Rock so much in WWE right now. Because I'm seeing him like just get to do what he does.
Yes.
Like I know he has freedom there. I know he's having fun with it. But I did appreciate that moment of them bumping into each other and like
shaking hands.
Like a really quick, awkward handshake. Yes. And what a great move for Cena, by the way, whose Hollywood career is still growing, to basically audition in front of the entire world. Nail it.
Killed it. Margot Robbie was laughing so hard. I was like, you've arrived, young Cena.
And by the way, I mean, how great was Ryan Gosling? You know what? We'll see. Maybe this topic will continue and we'll get more Oscar time. We'll see.
Because we have a lot more to say about the Oscars, but we are halfway through the show, shockingly. Right now, the most important topic of the day is the Oscars. We love Hollywood. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Over the Top. Peter, next challenger, please.
Alrighty then. Up next, UFC 299 was the Sean O'Malley show in the ring. But outside the ring or octagon, let's be honest,
Yeah.
Donald Trump was the main attraction. Former president took a seat ringside and attracted a throng. A throng? Yeah, a throng of NFL
huge,
heavyweights.
Throbbing throng.
In attendance, like Nick Bosa and Joe Burrow, who were caught on camera absolutely broing it out with Trump. Do we want to continue talking about the Oscars, or do we want to switch to the weirdness of UFC 299?
There were so many people in so many of those videos from that UFC fight that it was.
Wait, can you tell me more? Are there more?
Yeah, there's Portnoy, there's Sage Steele acting like Jesus himself just walked in the room. It was delicious.
Are you serious?
Delicious. Now, do I want to keep talking about it? No. Did I learn anything? No. I think Burrow might get some heat, but we all knew what Bosa was. We're good.
By the way, I didn't. That's the one that just hit me a little bit. The one that I'm feeling a little
Burrow?
pang for is I love Joe Cool, man.
I know.
Is it possible Joe Burrow was just like in the moment and happened to be there, and so he's like, "Hey, what's up?" Blah blah
and didn't
blah.
want to be rude and not shake his hand. I don't know. That's a personal character moment. You have to decide what you want to do in that moment, I guess. But he did pose for a picture and stuff, so you don't have to do that.
He posed too.
That's above and beyond.
You don't have to.
Do with this what you must, Peter Rosenberg. Do with this what you must.
I mean, Sage Steele was like, all of my career choices have now been justified by this moment. Yes, take this, Jamel Hill.
Stick to sports.
Yeah. I hope you're enjoying Thursday Night Football, Michael Smith. Look at me. Sorry, old ESPN colleague jokes.
Everybody loves that.
I say we continue to talk Oscars.
Yay!
Goodbye. And by the way, first of all, I know the UFC heads love Sean O'Malley. He's fine, but whatever.
Fine. He's the different color hair, curly
yeah,
thing.
it's fine.
Yeah,
Dude, if you talk to UFC fans, they will tell you everyone's a star. They're like, this weekend, bro, it's the biggest fight weekend in years. And I'm like, well, I'm a casual. Let me check out who's fighting. I know one person. This is not a big deal.
I knew two on this one, but I still didn't watch.
I'm sorry. You can't try to get me for $84 every month.
Every month?
Back to the Oscars, which were tremendous.
Tremendous.
I will say this, though. While I very much enjoyed the Kimmel Trump joke, I thought he nailed it. The rumor is they were encouraging him not to do it. And I tend to agree with whoever was telling him not to do it.
100.
Like, Jimmy, you're my dude. But don't know if you know this, not a lot of sane people have Truth Social.
I didn't even know where he found that. I was like, is he still on Twitter? Is that guy on Twitter still?
I know. Me too. So like no one would have really known about this. And while it's a funny joke, you're kind of just feeding into the same thing. And I don't know if you remember 2016. And I'm not telling anyone my political leanings, okay? No one knows what I believe.
Yeah, not at all.
No, you can't tell. But I will say this. If you were of the mindset that you were not happy that Donald Trump was elected in 2016, I would suggest you don't make the same mistake that the media made then of being like, look how funny it is, because then he became president.
Yeah, I'm with you. I cringed a little because, like you just said, I literally went to Twitter to verify that he's not on Twitter. And then I realized, oh, he's on that other thing that I'm never going to be on. And I felt like it was just giving someone oxygen that craves it so desperately. So I was bummed. Just have the night. Have the self-congratulatory patting on the back of rich, beautiful people about their acting. Like, what are we doing? Let's not do all that.
I get if you win an award and it's like your big moment and you have something you feel really strongly about. I understand. You're never going to get that platform again. Necessarily,
well,
unless you're Robert Downey Jr., in which case I'm like, I love the guy, but this isn't even exciting. He just wins.
I do love Robert Downey Jr. There were a couple moments where I like Nick Cage. He had a little personality. Ryan Gosling, you mentioned it. Not just that he crushed. Wait. What?
Let's see if we can still keep talking about
What
this.
if we can't? Okay.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
Right,
I feel that strongly about the Oscars this year.
This is a gamble. Okay. Up next. I don't like how this is starting. Rapper Nelly said on The Shop that his era of hip hop was the, quote, toughest ever. He explained, when I put out music, I had to go against DMX, M, Wayne, 50, Luda, all of us fighting for one spot. 99, 2008 to 10, hardest era ever. Do we continue talking about Los Oscars? or switch to Nelly and his era.
It was a fun little chat, and it did remind you that in the early days of Nelly's career, like when his first album came out, 2001, 2002, that was a pretty intense time. And it was like, it's not like today where you can be hugely popular with your own audience, but nobody else knows you. Like back then, you were either mainstream popular or you weren't.
That's fair. Had to be on the radio or nothing.
That's it, right?
Yep.
Like now, there are artists right now literally getting hundreds of millions of streams that you and I have no clue who they are. So,
Zero.
No, it was an interesting point by him, but I'm going to go ahead and toss Nelly in a loving way.
Of course.
Over the top rope.
Yeah.
And let's stay with the Oscars because we didn't even get into how damn talented Ryan Gosling is.
Perfect. He's a perfect man, isn't he? I mean, sequins pink, hot pink suit, singing like for the audience, that audience of just everyone and their dogs. He's not just good looking. He's not just a great serial actor. Serial?
More than that.
Or serious. He's really good at funny. And as much as I didn't care for the movie itself, I thought that the performance was just, I honestly thought it was perfect. I would not have changed a single thing about it. He involved the audience. It had it was 65 dancers or some, they got Simu to come back to do the dance. Like, that's huge. These are big moments. So I'm in.
They absolutely crushed it. I don't know who Simu is, but
he's the hot Asian dude that was also a Ken.
Oh, is he famous though?
He's pretty famous.
But prior to that or because of that?
No, prior to that. He was in, what was the...
No Simu disrespect. I don't want any Simu disrespect.
What was the superhero movie that he's in? God, somebody,
Spider-Man.
for the love of God.
Superman.
No.
Daredevil.
But it is Marvel. It was a big deal.
It was a big Marvel movie. That's the point. Also, don't forget Ryan Gosling, former Mickey Mouse Club kid with Justin and Brittany and all them.
Sure. And still very likable.
No, props to Mark Ronson and Ryan Gosling and Slash. That part was awesome. But by the way, Billy and Phineas are freaking awesome too. I'm sorry.
I know. It makes me think my brother and I are just absolute losers. Totally. No skills.
As it should. No, as it should.
Well, you too.
Okay.
I mean, it's not just me. You're also a loser.
Yeah, but you brought it up first.
But why wouldn't you compare? What's happening right now?
Up next, in a story reminiscent of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage uniting to form the Mega Powers.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Applebee's and IHOP are launching co-branded locations. That's right, Mega Powers. The restaurants will share a back-of-house space and discreet entrances. What the hell does that mean? Is this a strip club?
Like VIP?
But on the inside, customers can opt to visit IHOP or Applebee's. Do we want to continue to talk about the Oscars or move on to this weird Applebee's IHOP combo pack?
I do love a collab.
But you know what? There's still...
I know. I'm going to let this IHOP Applebee's restaurant marinate and kind of do its thing. Let's give it a minute. Happens. And then we'll come... Maybe we'll even... I don't know. We'll all go as a group. Test
You know what we'll do? Let's talk Hollywood for a second. Here's what I'd like you to do.
Okay.
Drop me a note. Let's circle back on this.
Circle back.
And see how we feel later, okay?
Yeah. Efforting.
I'm efforting to make that happen soon. We'll circle back Applebee's and we'll talk. But over the top you go. Let's continue with the Oscars. What's your Al Pacino hot take?
It's not even a hot take.
It's just that he's old, isn't it? Because he was a little confused when he opened the envelope and he's like, I see Oppenheimer. I was like, that's not how you wanted to do that.
It was like this, Peter. I'm on the couch. I'm like, okay, here we go. Best film. Da, da. I look down for a second and all of a sudden I hear him say Oppenheimer. I was like, nothing? No build up, no sizzle
No, he
reel.
did not get it. It was weird. I will say this too. I felt sad seeing it. De Niro's 80, he's 83. When did that happen? Like, why did it happen? And what happened to us in that time?
We got better. I don't know what you're talking about. I think we look amazing. We sound better than ever.
We look and sound great, but if we remember them in their late 50s and early 60s, then that means we were. And that means next that we're gonna.
I shit you not, Peter Rosenberg. 3 hours before we were taping this here podcast, I started Godfather again. So I know it's fresh. It's right here. The beautiful fresh skin, brand new on the scene. Who is this young gun?
I was pretty handsome back in the day. Am I right?
Devilishly, yes.
Yeah, he became an old guy. It just happened.
It just happened. It's going to happen to all of us. And it was just, I feel like as cool as it is to see Al friggin' Pacino up on that stage, you got to kind of maybe send him out there with someone. Have two people. Ryan Gosling again,
You know what? Or harken back to Godfather 3 and send him out with Andy Garcia.
Fine.
Give him Him and De Niro together, by the way, to celebrate 2.
There you go. Because that's what they were doing. It was a 50th anniversary.
Didn't they say that? It was the 50th anniversary of 2?
As Pacino was walking out. That was one of the things was it David Alan Grier, by the way, that was the voice?
And by the way, pet peeve, David Alan Grier, I love that guy. He's done something that really bothers me. And I'm going to tell him. I think he's coming on my show soon. I'm going to tell him this.
I love David Alan Grier.
He's done the thing where he's bald, but he's allowed his beard to fully grow out and it's white.
Yeah.
So like it makes him look like he's not that old. It makes you look 100.
I know, but it's David Alan Grier. He's awesome. He used to come to my Super Bowl parties. I love that dude.
Wait, hold on. First of all, you don't have to show off about your Super Bowl parties.
Yes, I do. I have one famous friend. I'm going to tell you about it.
I love David Alan Grier as well, okay? Hold on. I want to fight over this. He follows me on Instagram, okay?
Okay. Are we going to tell him that we're fighting over him right now? Because we can.
I love him, and it's not that he looks bad with the white beard, but I want him to still be young, and it makes me think he's 80. And then I look, and he's only like 66.
Okay. And some people go, gray faster. What do you want from him?
But, you know what? It's a good point.
I'm going to text him.
You.
I love the white beard. Let's see what he says.
Oh, you're on text
terms
with
his
him.
Ass. I'm going to kiss his ass right in front of you. And then I'm going to tell him, my friend Peter Rosenberg thinks you look stupid.
Parentheses, at Rosenberg Radio if you forgot who he is.
We have to do it. We have to. By the way, have we hit the whole? We haven't talked about Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Oh my gosh, It could keep going. Who knows?
All right. It's made it through what, 4 or 5 shifts? Up next, the injury bug has hit the NBA hard. Yeah, it has. In recent weeks, you got Steph, Karl Towns.
No, let's just keep talking Oscars.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Some of you, by the way, we are obviously very gently going to place each and every one of these individuals over the top.
Well, they're injured.
Yeah, the playoffs are right around the corner. Come on.
The Oscars continue on. What did you say we had not yet covered from the Oscars?
Well, we had Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito in memoriam.
In memoriam. What a wonderful... The in memoriam was so well done. It always is. Let's be honest. Even on a bad award show, a good in memoriam will...
But it gets crushed every time, Peter. Why is that? Why does in memoriam get crushed every time? This time it was because they said there were dancers blocking the screen.
Wait, people crushed it?
Again, it does every year. It's a tale as old as time, crushing in memoriam.
I love in memoriam.
Me too. I cried a little bit, to be honest with you.
You know what I hate about in memoriam? God forbid I step away from the show. We finish the show. And the second I log out, my face goes straight down like the end of 6 Feet Under, and I just drop dead right here at the desk.
Okay. That's fine.
Next year, I guess the only in memoriam I could qualify for would be the Grammys, where they will include like a radio DJ. Like you can make it as a as a music person from the radio side. And anyone who knows me knows that my sad, desperate for validation ego would want it so much.
What?
And if I didn't get it, it's a lose-lose. Because if I didn't get the in memoriam at the Grammys, my family would go, oh, that's a shame. He would have liked that. And if I do get it, everyone's going to be so sad and start crying. It's kind of a bad situation either way, Beadle.
You're literally dead. It doesn't matter. That's all I have for you. You're
dead.
I don't know. You'll never feel anything again, ever.
I think I'll still care about that.
No, you won't. You're gone. We'll never hear from you or see you again. It's really sad.
My God. What if you don't believe in afterlife?
I believe in nothing. I believe in you're here. Tomorrow you're gone. Poof. Better live it up.
Why do you have to be that? It's very predictable, but why do you have to be that way?
Because I don't believe in anything. I just feel like you're dead. Oh, maybe your soul. You want to believe in a soul? Believe in that. But it's not like you're going to be floating above watching the Grammys. That ain't happening. That's not happening. You think heaven's watching the Grammys if that's what you believe in?
Wouldn't it be great, though, if that did happen and I wasn't included? And with my luck, what would happen is I would drop dead, and then like someone else who I consider to be slightly lesser in my world would also drop dead, and they would make it into the in memoriam. Well,
that's the age-old getting on a flight and someone very famous is on it.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
Like,
and then it says...
Not even going to get a mention.
I know. It would say like, Michelle Beadle and others perish, and I'd be throwing in others.
I just look around. All right, we got a chance. All right.
I know. All right, up next, Jake Paul's next fight has been finalized, and it's a doozy. This is a very 2024 story. This July, Jake Paul will step into the ring with a 57-year-old Mike Tyson in a match that will be streamed live on Netflix.
Nice.
It's unfortunate the way this timing goes because the Oscars could have went on the longest streak in history. Mm-hmm. It seems like it would be irresponsible at this point, though, to power them through when A, I feel like we've exhausted it, and B, there is a lot of meat on the bone of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
All right. So then the Oscars, you have carried us through the majority of today's show, but unfortunately for you, over the top, you go. All right. This is bringing back flashbacks. Peter, I don't know if you used to do this in school. I'm older than you, obviously, but used to have this argument with friends or conversation like, how much money would it take for you to get in the ring with Mike Tyson? Like, take a punch.
Oh,
and,
it was the most
pipe.
common conversation
Loved
of
it.
all time.
Loved that conversation. And now we get to do it again. 57-year-old Mike Tyson. By the way, I saw the video of him training. I mean, it still looks like it's going to hurt.
I know. Well, that's the thing about Mike's training videos. The video will always make you go, oh, good God. I mean, every time, obviously, right? Like, they always do say punching power is the one thing that basically doesn't go away. Like, if you pack a punch, you basically pack one, even if you're older and slower.
Damn.
I mean, within reason,
Okay.
you still have power. So I have a lot of mixed feelings on this. I have a relationship with Mike. I certainly care about his well-being. I don't want him to be in a situation that's dangerous.
Oh.
He's sort of had this nice chapter of his life maybe people didn't expect, where he's clearly found peace. Weed is legal. He smokes lots of it. It keeps him calm. Like, he's been in a better place. So much so that the only controversy Mike Tyson's had in the last couple of years was a fight on a plane in which everyone in the public agreed with him.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that, actually.
And we've come a long way. We've come a long way. So
Yeah.
I have a lot of feelings on this, but I will say, I'm not particularly worried about how this thing turns out. I don't think Jake Paul, as much as Jake Paul could beat the shit out of you or me, I don't think he can hurt Mike Tyson.
But what about the conspiracy theory that I believe that these
Go
are
ahead.
all rigged anyways? My
Right,
thing
and
is,
my-
if Mike Tyson doesn't land a hard punch to his head, then this whole thing is fake.
You know what? I don't hate that take, because let's just factor this in. They know each other well. That's for sure. They have a
Yeah.
relationship 100%.
Yep.
This is a win-win for Tyson. If you lose, you're 30 years older than the guy. Who cares? Here's your big bag of cash. If you somehow win, wow, what an awesome exclamation point all these years later. By the way, let's talk about how impressive it is in terms of Mike Tyson's overall cultural impact and fame, and also how sad it is for boxing that in 2024, Mike is still the biggest draw in all of boxing. That is a fact.
God, I didn't think about that. That is sad, dude.
Mike hasn't won a meaningful fight in 25 years. You could argue meaningful is maybe even more than that, because those were jabronis he was beating 25 years ago.
How much is he getting for this, we think?
We don't know, but he made $30 million against Lennox Lewis in 2002. My guess is he's not making less than that for this. That would be my guess.
Hold up. Say it again.
He made $30 million against Lennox Lewis in 2002.
He's not making less than that?
I don't think he'll make less than that. How can he make less than that?
I
mean, the amount of eyeballs that it's worth for Netflix,
well, how
who's
does
trying
it
to
work?
venture.
But Netflix, so I'm not paying extra for it.
Wait.
Okay,
Here's
sorry.
the question, though.
Okay, you're right.
Do we continue with this? What's next?
You're okay. And perhaps the biggest splash of NFL free agency, arguably, one that will rock I-95. Saquon Barkley has signed with the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 years and $37 million. Do we continue to talk about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, or switch to Saquon heading to Philly?
Well, listen, our pinhead producer, Andrew Goldstein, is he's rubbing his fingers together, hoping that we talk about his Eagles to end the show.
Please.
But like, we all knew Saquon was leaving.
Yeah, we had to.
It does suck if you're a Giants fan to see him in green. Believe me, I've been down that road before. It stinks when your favorite player goes to play for the Eagles. But it's not surprising. And aside from Tiki Barber ridiculously saying you're dead to me, is there
What
anything
is
to even?
that?
I mean, dude, Tiki,
Bruh.
of all people, dude, of all people, you would have chased that bag.
But hold on.
You rolled out on the Giants.
Thank you.
You quit in your prime to go on TV. You were like, I want to be on TV, and you left in your prime.
And P.S. Saquon Barkley was basically outside the Giants' window with a boombox saying, please, I want to stay in New York. I love being a New York Giant. I want to be here. And they slammed that window shut. I don't understand why there could possibly be any animosity towards Saquon Barkley. Is it because he's going to Philly? Because newsflash, once you don't want me, I'm going to do what I need to do. So really, I don't understand the delusion on possibly any hate headed towards Saquon Barkley's way. Any.
Yeah, I mean, how much less money would you be like would make sense for him to take to stay in New York?
No, and
realistically,
it wasn't going to be a long-term deal. So why would I stay?
Saquon did clap back at Tiki because Tiki on his radio show, which you should never listen to, you should only listen to mine,
Obviously.
said, he said, you're dead to us as Giants fans. Like, okay, whatever. Saquon responded on Twitter, I got the deal I wanted, so if fans are going to hate me for that, so be it. But I never turned my back on my teammates and always had theirs. Yeah, because Tiki left in his prime because he wanted to be on TV. And guess what? They went out and won a Super Bowl without him. So
that hurts.
Yeah, you know what? I love you, Saquon.
Love you,
Tiki, not a fan of what you said. You're both going over the top. Let's finish out the show strong.
Is this the last one?
That's the champion right there. It's Tyson and Paul, baby.
What?
And by the way, it makes perfect sense, Beadle, because I have news for you.
What?
I am among the people who believes this will probably be the most watched live fight in history.
I agree. And by the way, so if I have Netflix, I'm not paying extra for this.
That is correct, Beadle.
So
if you have Netflix, you're in.
I do not and will not and never will understand how Netflix does any of their business. However, I am grateful for that. And this is how much I agree with you that this will be the biggest fight ever. I was already thinking, all right, July, it's a pretty good chance I'm going to take my vacation. I might be out of the country during this period of time, but I still can get on my Netflix. Boom, I'm covered. Literally my first thoughts when this news broke. So
that's the thing.
I agree with you.
Even if you think it's silly, even if you're watching because you're like worried, it's like dangerous. There's so many other reasons. It is so cross-generational.
Yeah,
I mean,
brilliant.
Tyson is one of the only athletes of yesteryear that the new kids still know about and are like aware of. And like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Everyone says he was great, whatever. So then you have Jake Paul, who's known by everyone under the age of 30. So then you factor in they have 260 million subscribers and you don't have to pay extra? Dude, there could be 50 million people watching that fight. It could be like the damn Oscars itself.
But so then there's no way they're getting 30 for this. There's no way. I can't wait. I can't wait for the numbers.
Netflix just paid $500 million a year for Monday Night Raw. But here's the thing. Let's say they pay $60 million. How much can they get back in sponsors for that night knowing the eyeballs they're going to have?
But how do sponsors work on Netflix?
This is their first foray into live sports. Why can't they slap sponsors on it? You're telling me Jake Paul's MVP, his company, they're not going to go out and grab sponsors for this thing when you're going to have all those eyeballs?
The world is
changing. So they can make money back.
It's changing, Peter, all around us.
It all makes sense. Either way, I will be locked in and somehow praying that against all odds, Mike Tyson knocks Jake Paul out. Oh, it would be joyous. That's going to do it. That's 90 seconds. We have come to a decision. The new, undisputed, most important thing on planet Earth this week is 57-year-old Mike Tyson taking on a man 30 years his junior, Jake Paul, July 20th at Jerry World. Do you think we got it right? We don't care.
We really don't.
We did.
We don't.
It doesn't affect our bottom line.
No.
Unless it's Ryan Gosling, because that man is. Or David Allen Greer, for that matter.
Also calls. Oh, I forgot to check my phone. Oh, shit.
All right. That is it. Tune in next week to determine the only thing you need to care about and what goes over the top.